Hello again and welcome. This is Robert Schein, Managing Director and Partner of Blanke Schein Wealth Management. Today is September 30th, 2020, the last day of September, last day of the third quarter. And we are now headed into the last stretch of the calendar year. There's a lot of market updates, issues and headlines that are moving markets. They may not be reported in your nightly update, so we're going to pay attention to them, report them, and let you know what markets are actually paying attention to, what's moving the market. So let's get right to our topics of the day. So here we go. Our update, first update, headline of the day, real estate is on fire. We keep reporting about this. The August number was just released of pending home sales, and that was a record number of 8.8% jump. For the month of August alone. If you take that year over year, it's well over 24.2% jump from 2019 to 2020. Those numbers right now are basically setting record paces, and that's huge. What's also just dumbfounding to us is why CNBC, if you go to their homepage, it's not reported. This is one of those numbers that actually moved the equity market. Stock market took off when this number was reported. So equity markets paid attention to this. This headline, if you go to cnbc.com, I love to pick on them. And the reason why is this is why our YouTube channel is so popular on a daily basis is simply because the news that's positive that markets are paying attention to are not reported for some reason in the daily headlines. You have to go find this headline. We'll find out if the nightly news cycle is still going to be talking about the last night's debate. I'll talk about that in a minute. Or they're going to report this positive economic news. And ultimately, a few things you want to pay attention to. Number one, we're about a 3.3 month supply in terms of monthly supply for housing. Okay, so short supply and ultimately ultra low interest rates. So you got low interest rates, short supply. Keep in mind the average supply in a normal housing market is about 6 months. We're half of that right now. That all comes together, and people don't want to live in cities anymore. They're moving to places like Palm Desert, California and Indian Wells, California. We're seeing multiple homes that are going escrow have multiple offers on them. So I imagine that's happening in your neighborhood. We're seeing that here locally, but housing is on fire and real estate continues. So here you have it. We have the first presidential debate of 2020 in the books last night. And ultimately, I don't know what to tell you. I think we've all lost for certain. We were very short on policy and long on insults. Ultimately, it was 90 minutes of my wife and I watching this play out. I'm sure you did at home, shaking your head, disappointed because we didn't really get anything substantive from this, but nothing more than what we would see on our own kitchen table when our kids start bickering with each other. We have 4 teenagers in the Schein household. And ultimately, when teenagers start going at each other and interrupting each other, that's no different than what we saw last night. So for us, it was, we just want to take a deep breath. So nobody won. Let's look forward. But what was interesting was what was said. There was some things that moved markets. Ultimately, we talked about the VIX volatility index being pricing in the November contracts of worrying about the election, meaning post-election. We're not going to have a couple weeks before we have sort of an outcome. And then President Trump was asked, listen, will you honor the election results? And he basically said, not really, in so many words, because he doesn't believe in the process is going to be legitimate. This is really bad for just the United States on whole. But on the short term, we're going to see some volatility as it relates to portfolio management. Long term, we will take advantage of it for our clients because there will be positioning that we can take advantage of if there is a sell-off. History has shown, if you go back to Gore and Bush in 2000, and they had the sort of the delayed outcome Supreme Court, hanging Chad scenario. Markets did sell off about to the tune of well over 10% on that, around 12%, all said and done. So this could set up for that. October, literally the VIX is coming down and markets are up. So the volatility index is down and markets are actually playing up. And that's also our last topic of the day, where this last chance for Congress. Steve Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary, was in the news cycle early this morning talking about how there is a possibility of some compromise for the White House, House Democrats and the Senate Republicans all coming together. Again, I'm not going to have anyone hold their breath on this one because that could be extremely dangerous. But time is running out, and Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, says they're willing to work with and make something happen in the next 24, 48 hours. Markets did jump off of Steve Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary comments this morning in anticipation of something happening. Depending upon the size of what actually plays out, we will wait and see if that actually happens. And finally, today we also had Stephanie Lake from our Portfolio Election Edition Special 2.0. Stephanie is with us here at HighTower, our Chief Investment Strategist, as well as you'll see her just about every other day on CNBC. She's a senior contributor there. So she wears multiple hats. She did a wonderful interview for us just a little while ago. If you didn't have the opportunity to jump on that Zoom call, we will then send out the link later this week with Stephanie Link. So thanks for watching, and happy Wednesday. Talk to you soon.